Hey everyone, this is Rich, and I'm going to try making a game. This is going to end up as a space shooter, but I wanted to start with the simplest, most basic form of what a shooter game could be. And what I came up with was you need three sprites or objects to start with. The first is going to be the player character, so I'm just going to represent that with a green square right now. The second thing you need is bullets because it's a shooter game after all. So I'm going to represent that with a blue circle here. And then you need something to shoot at. So I'm going to put in a red triangle over here. And this is going to be the most basic game here. What we're looking to do is when I press a button, say the space bar, the player character launches a bullet at the enemy, and then when the bullet and the enemy collide, then they both disappear. That's all we're looking for in this video, starting small. All right, here goes. All right, so since I'm starting at the beginning here in programming, I wanted to go with the simplest programming language I could find, and I ended up choosing Scratch, which is a visual programming language aimed at teenagers. And it seems really simple to use, so what you do is you go to scratch.mit.edu and then sign up for an account. And once you're ready to go, you just click create, and we're going to start a new project here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is go over here to backdrops, click it, and then choose a backdrop. Now we have some good options here for a space shooter. We've got the stars one, nebula, and galaxy. I'm going to go with the stars because it's the least distracting. Now you see we've already got a cat sprite here. That's a default, but we want something else. So we're going to go down here to choose a sprite, and I'm going to type in dot in the search and get this little space doggy here for our player character. And then we can delete the cat sprite. We just want the dog. All right. So the dog's a little big, taking up the whole screen. So we're going to do size 33, make a small doggy. And we want him dead center of the screen. So it's going to be X0 and Y0. All right. Now we need our second sprite, which is going to be a bullet. So I'm going to go with this ball right here. And I like the ball to be blue. It's just personal preference. So to change it, go up here to costumes and click the blue ball. Go back to code, hit size 33 to make it about the size of the dog, and just set it right in front of the dog for now. It doesn't really matter. Okay, now we need to choose a third sprite, something to shoot at. I went with the star here, so you just click that and put the star at X100 Y0. That way it is directly in front of the dog to the right. So it's a nice and easy path for the bullet to travel. Now we've got our sprites set up, but they don't do anything yet. So here comes the programming aspect of it. So we're on the star right now, our enemy character. What we do is we go to events and take this when green flag clicked and put it into the body, and then go to looks, and we want it to show up. It shows on start. Now do the same thing for the ball. We go to when green flag clicked, and we want the ball to be hidden at first because we haven't shot any yet, right? So ball hidden, the enemy character shows up, and for the player character dot, we're going to do when green flag clicked, show. All right, so now when we click start, you can see the ball disappears, but the other two are still there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is set the location firmly in place when the game is started. So the way we do that is in motion, you go to the XY and set it to 0, 0 for the player character. And then for the ball, it's going to be the same thing to start with. Same as a player character. And then the star, we want it to be default. Go to X100, Y0. Now, one more thing for the player character. We want it to point towards the star, so we're going to take this point in direction 90 over there. That way it's facing exactly right. Alright, what we want to do next is tell the ball to create clones of itself when we press a button, like the space bar. So how we do that is here in the forever loop. Looks like I need to put my go to X0, Y0 back real quick. Alright, put the forever loop under that and put if then, and we need a statement. So we're going to do if key space pressed, then do something. So what we're going to do is create a clone of ourselves and wait a little bit just to make sure it doesn't constantly do it. So I put in 0.1 seconds under the wait. Alright, so next we do when I start as a clone, and then we want the clone to show up, and now we put the go to X0, Y0 over on the clone. We want to point it in the direction of 90 degrees to make sure it goes towards the star. Okay, and then we want to tell it to move 10 steps forward, and in a forever loop we are moving 10 steps forward, except if it is touching the star. So we go down here to sensing, touch star, put that as the if condition. If touching star, then what we want to do is broadcast that the star is hit. So we take this broadcast message in the events tab, make a new message and say star hit. Okay, so if we're touching the star, then broadcast the star is hit, and then we want to delete this clone because it collided with the star. Now we go over to the star and say when it receives the star hit, and we want the star to disappear. So what we're going to use for that is called the ghost effect. So we take this change ghost effect by 100 in the looks, which tells it to completely disappear under the receive star hit broadcast message. In order to make it always fully appear when the game starts, we need the set ghost effect to 0. So it's fully visible when the game starts, and then it disappears when it's hit. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Alright, that is everything that we needed for this first step. Now we have something functional. To fully review the code here, well, let's go ahead and show this one more time. So what I did was I pressed the green flag, and then nothing's happening until I press the space bar. The bullet travels over to the star and they both disappear. That's exactly what we wanted. Okay, code review. For the star sprite, we have when green flag is clicked, so on start, we want the star to show, and it goes to X100, Y0, where it is pretty much fixed in place over here. Then it sets the ghost effect to 0, so it's fully visible. Now when it receives the broadcast from the ball that says star hit, change ghost effect by 100, so it disappears when it's hit. For the ball sprite, we have when green flag is clicked, hide, and then in a forever loop, if the key spacebar is pressed, then create clone of myself and wait 0.1 seconds. Then when I start as a clone, show up, go to X0, Y0, which is where the player character is, point in the direction of 90 degrees, which is pure right, and in a well, move 10 steps forward, and in a forever loop, move 10 steps forward. If touching star, then broadcast that the star is hit and delete this clone because they collided. Now for the player character, we have when the green flag is clicked, show up, go to dead center, which is X0, Y0, and point in direction 90 degrees, which is pure right, aiming at the star. Alright, I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.